procedure of vinification for low sulfite white without malolactic fermentation. So here we have, okay, you have to translate. On the right, you see 4 coins of €1. So €4 FOB. I'll leave you translate in your currency. What is called the upper popular premium. I've chosen this bracket because this price bracket segment internationally is very, there's big competition. Everybody's competing on this, and you need to have clean and sound, good longevity, without excessive aggressivity wines to be competitive on this segment. So we start on the left. You see the harvester. If you use a harvester, here I start with the addition of SO2, a program of sulfitation. So 1 gram per hectoliter SO2 on the grapes. I consider hectoliter is 100 kilo of grapes. On juice and wine, hectoliter is 100 liter of liquid. Okay, you arrive at the winery. White wine model can be Chardonnay or Sauvignon. It works very well also with many varieties. So at the before the crusher at the reception winery, 2 gram per hectoliter SO2. Generally, the gram you added at the harvester during the transportation is consumed in the system. So you distem and crush. Also, that's my recommendation if you want to make clean, sound, good longevity, no aggressivity, competitive white wines for international market. In the press, as soon as possible, you correct pH. The best to correct pH is to eliminate potassium. One acid, only one acid does that, tartaric acid. If you have prepared juice from yesterday with ion exchange resin, you can add them already in the press or in the juice after the press. And after the press, as is written in blue, you add 1 gram per hectoliter SO2. If you are using ascorbic, ascorbic is very interesting. There's ascorbic is dangerous in the end of person that are, sorry for the word, but we have to say the truth sometimes, ignorant. So ascorbic acid is not, you need to have a correct, as Simon said, a correct way to measure your free SO2, a method that is not taking in account the ascorbic acid. That's if you make that mistake, you should get trained on that. People that use ascorbic acid and SO2 the right way and have the right analysis for free and total SO2 don't have problems. So ascorbic is very interesting in many wines, starting Sauvignon, etc. So there's no problem. You just need to make a good, the right free SO2 measurement. Okay, so after the press, I said juice segmentation according to the pressure. I will talk about that later. Juice clarification can be sedimentation or flotation. Then you go to a fermentation tank. You see staves indicating that I will recommend staves for fermentation. Parenthesis, all the method I talk about and recommend in that process are admitted by the OIV and also by the EU. If you make appellation wine, you have to check, or you're outside, check that it's allowed or not in your I would say that your laws, your local laws. Okay, so everything I'm talking about is authorized by the OIV and authorized recommended by the OIV and the EU. Okay, so we are in the middle of the screen. At the end of alcoholic fermentation, we check, as I said before, pH is still at 320, and that we check that with the SO2 we added, we were precise in the addition. So with the effect of fermentation, I will talk about that. At the end of alcoholic fermentation, we must be below 30, 20, 25 milligram total SO2, maximum 30. At this point, we add in one shot 3 gram SO2. Next day, we rack 3 gram per hectoliter SO2. If you talk ppm, 30 ppm. If you talk milligram per liter, you add 30 milligram SO2. You are not aiming at 30 milligram to SO2 after addition. You add. So when addition, I talk winemaker, so gram per hectoliter generally. So you add 3 gram per hectoliter. Okay, then very important, because the lees, heavy lees, oxidized elements in the heavy lees will combine your SO2, etc. It's well known. So very important in this process, if you want to make low sulfite, clean, sound, and mineral and fresh white wine, recommend to respect the rackings program. So easy to remember: 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. 1 day after the addition of SO2 in your fermentation tank, 1 week later, because different lees that you had not eliminated in the first racking, you eliminate then after 1 week, and after 1 month, some lees, new lees were created by the first month of aging. They are interesting to eliminate. 4th racking maybe is just before bottling. Then we end during the aging. We check, as I thought before, that molecular SO2 is 1 milligram, 1.1, 1.2 milligram per liter, and then at bottling the free SO2 we mentioned, and all the time you check your pH is okay. Okay, so we have the general process and we have the SO2 additions.